Hey everyone, this is Jennifer with Peoria Business Champs here today with Joe from Flush the Guts Gutter Cleaning.
Hey.
I wanted to introduce you guys to Joe because he's a new business in the Peoria area. I met him at the BBB workshop and I was immediately impressed just by how he was handling the prospecting in the business, and then I found out a little bit about his story, and it just reminded me of that grit and that energy we all had in those beginning uh, parts of our business. And I think just based on our conversations, he will be able to give you guys some good tips and advice on what he's doing to grow Flush the Guts. So, Joe, can we go back to the beginning, not about the business, but and just tell people like where you're from, where you grew up, and kind of bring us up to speed.
Yeah, I'm from Peoria, born and raised. I moved out of town, went to high school in El Paso, Illinois, actually. But other than El Paso, I'm from here. So, um, I've always had a great work ethic. I've been working since I was 14. Actually, detasseling is where I started. I don't know if it's been 2 weeks since that I have had a job. So, and working for myself, just, I wanted to take that venture, and here we are. So.
Detasseling in the middle of July
Oh
in
yeah,
98
child
degree
labor.
weather. Yeah,
That's what it
really.
is.
So then, you started working for another company, and where were you at when you decided you wanted to work for yourself? Like, how did that come about?
So I was at a company called Fish Window Cleaning. They're actually a franchise company. They're big here in Peoria. Um, I was there for almost 9 years. I managed that company for a few years. Um, and that's when I really realized I think I could do it by myself. You know what I mean? As of every entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
usually they work at a job and realize, hey, I think I can do this by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I dove in and realized it's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but you learn as you go. So it's like putting a piece of a puzzle together. You put the pieces together and it fits. So.
Yeah. So why gutters though?
Because I had experience with them through fish.
Oh, okay.
So it was something I've already been experienced in. I feel like there's a big profit margin in it. Um, and I feel like it's a great way to make revenue, and it's something that I'm good at. So.
Just clicked for you.
Hmm.
We were talking in a previous conversation whereby you said that like a lot of people are good. They have like a skill set. Maybe they're a good baker or they're a good painter or whatever, and they say, okay, I think I do want to step out and do this on my own. But then they quickly realize there's a lot more to it.
There is, and actually, the book I mentioned to you, actually teaches you a lot about that. Teaches you your role. That's the E Myth Revisited. It kind of teaches you your role as a business owner, opposed to, or as a business owner, like there's a technician, there's a manager, and there's an entrepreneur, and it's real hard to do all three things at once, and it kind of separates that and shows you kind of the guidelines of where you should be at in that business and what you should be doing. So.
What was because you're in year two of business, right?
Correct. Yeah.
How do you feel it's different than year one?
I feel like I've learned a lot. I've hired companies that I've got rid of because, it's just the wrong people to hire, and you just learn as you go. So as long as you're driven and putting your foot down and putting the work in, you really realize the right path to take. So.
What's been the hardest thing for you to learn, or what's been the biggest challenge?
Marketing's the biggest thing, because there's so many ways to market a business, and there's so many people that'll take their money to market the business, and just finding that right revenue and what works is, I believe, is very, very important. So.
Yeah. Um, what do you do as far as advertising? What has worked the best for you in your business or marketing?
um Word of mouth. I mean, just doing a high quality job, doing a great job for customers. I mean, they talk. You do a good job for somebody, they're going to tell their sister, their neighbor, their mother. Someone will catch wind of that and they'll want to use your service too.
Yeah.
Also SEO. SEO's done great.
Because you're number one on Google.
Correct. In the Tri-County area. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So SEO's done wonders for the business.
Yeah.
Great reviews. That helps for Google.
And I know you're new to social media, and that's really that's a marathon
Yeah.
for sure. But SEO, I do think that's important for businesses because when people go to Google and they're searching for gutter cleaning, they're already qualified. You know what I mean? Like they're a homeowner, they wouldn't be searching for gutter cleaning.
Right, right.
And they're in need of a service, like they're already interested. So they call that like intent buyers. So they're ready to buy.
Yeah.
So that's a money well spent.
Yeah, and who wants to scroll down? Or most people, when they get on Google and search for something, they don't want to scroll down 30 people to find you, right?
Yeah.
They're usually clicking on the top 5 or something, you know.
Yeah.
This is probably why they're at top, so let's
Yeah.
call them, you know.
And your SEO is organic,
Yes.
which I think a lot of times people will just scroll past the sponsored or the paid listings because they feel like, well, maybe it's just like one of those big like directories that never have a match or.
So we ran Google sponsored ads for a little while and it didn't have a whole lot of, you know, return. I mean, there's a few people that click on the ads, but I feel like the same thing you said, the organically is what people really try to focus on opposed to the sponsored ads.
Yeah, and your website, I know it's very well built, and to get organic traffic, you need to have a well built website with keywords enriched throughout the pages, and constantly be like paying attention and tweaking it. So, so I think that's what's been able to push you forward and break through all the other people that do that. So, so you mentioned the E-Myth book, and I've heard good things about that, and I really do want to read that book. I'll probably get the Audible. But is there any other books or people that you follow?
So books, no, I'm not really a reader.
That one just grabbed you.
And someone else said, hey, I'm not really a reader either, but this book really changed my perspective on business. So I'm like, hey, this might be for me. So let me read it.
Yeah.
And it really did. It really did change my outlook on the way I look at business. So as far as books, I don't know if I'll pick up more books or not because I'm not really the reader, but that one book definitely changed my way of thinking. Whether it's for the positive or negative, I believe it's for the positive. So.
Any mentors or people that you respect or admire in business?
I respect everybody that's in business. I mean, I just realized it's a real hard journey to take, and most businesses fail within the first 5 years. So if you're holding on and doing your own thing, good for you. You know, it's going to take drive, it's going to take passion, hard work. But if that's what you're in it for, then go for it.
What about any good managers or bosses you've ever worked before? Anyone stick out to you, or like any style?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned working for Fish Window Cleaning. The owner of that company is a real good guy. If you guys need your windows cleaned, call Fish Window Cleaning. But he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot of the management in the business, the logging, the back end, the employee interaction, the safety meetings. I learned a lot from that company. So he was like not only a boss, but more like a mentor to, kind of feed and grow off of. So.
Did he make you feel confident? Like, yeah, I could do this for myself.
He wants his business ran his way.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but with that being said, it teaches me discipline. It teaches me the right way to do things instead of trying to take my own path. Right. So. Okay. And he runs a successful business. So.
Yeah. So, when it comes to like training and hiring and managing employees, what's your approach?
Well, I haven't hired a whole lot of employees, but the one employee that I have hired, we do safety meetings weekly. I believe that's very, very important because we work off the ground. So safety's huge. Customer interaction in these meetings is huge. And just knowing that, trying to embed in the employee that this is the way it should be done, this is the way you should interact with customers, this is the first step and the last step of every job, really helps set guidelines and for every job is done correctly on time every time. So.
Before, when I managed a lot of people, one thing that I personally had to learn was how to balance like accountability. Like I would, if somebody wasn't catching something, I would blame myself and just be like, I haven't trained them. I need to try to figure this out. Blah 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 blah. Do you
Yeah.
ever find yourself doing that, or do you know how to balance that?
Well, I have caught myself doing that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's always, am I doing things the right way? Because
Mhm.
I'm new at it. It's
Mhm.
like anybody new at anything. Am I doing it the right way? However, I mean, the guy that does work for us, he is a great guy. He's a quick learner. He
Mhm.
caught on. He's a go-getter. So I mean, it's a lot easier with him opposed to maybe somebody else. And I believe that, embedding these safety meetings and embedding these rules really help for the future of the company. So
Yeah, I think you're really making a great foundation. The safety meetings that you do with your employees, it's not even required, right? It's just something that
yeah,
you
it's
wanted
not
to do.
required, correct? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something I want to do. I believe that it's just important. So
Mhm. So, we're in year two, but you've worked a lot with different businesses, and you're from the Peoria area, so you've seen like the established businesses in the area, and as a customer may have experienced like qualities. So, what would you say are some of the qualities or core values that a business has to have in order to be successful?
good, good ethics and transparency, I think, are two of the top,
Mm-hmm.
things that you should have to run a successful business.
Mm-hmm.
Because without drive, it's most likely not going to last. If you don't care about it, it's not going to care about you, right?
Yeah.
And then transparency. If the customer really knows what you're selling, what you're in business for, um, and there's no like hidden corners or anything, I believe that really helps with the customer interaction and them calling you back for future services and
Mm-hmm.
them just understanding what you do and what you're there for.
There's that summer cold. Excuse me. So, we did talk a little about, touch base a little bit about the importance of like customer retention, like coming back. I think that's a big part too of a company growing over time, because that's going to be how you grow it, just from doing a good job for these people, and then they call you back every year or
Hmm.
whenever they need that service. So I think that your focus is also in the right place when it comes to your customers. So how does Joe deal with uh, like a tough customer or a bad review?
Well, we always try to stay positive. We always try to keep in mind the customer's always right, right? And handle the situation as kindly as possible, with the most respect as possible, trying to explain to the customer um, that this is our beliefs in a respectful way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've got one bad review out of 49, so I mean we've got great reviews.
That's good.
However, the one bad review, we did contact her and we explained to her, this is what's going on. This is what we're off. We actually offer her a discount if she hires us again.
Okay.
So
Did she?
let's try to reverse the role. Let
Mm-hmm.
us prove to you that we are the company to hire. She did not hire us, but
Mm-hmm.
but as far as the response, I believe that was the
You
right
did it the
response.
best. Yeah.
Right, we did the best we could possibly do in the situation. So
Yeah. Well, what's on the horizon for you guys? What are you looking forward to?
growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as of every business. I mean, we're staying busy, but who wouldn't like 5 employees opposed to one employee, right? Who wouldn't like to grow a business? That's what we're on business for, is growth. So,
Mm-hmm. Anything that we didn't mention that you would like to talk about?
um, I don't think so. Thanks, Jennifer.
We'll think of all the good stuff. It's like, yeah, but like I had mentioned, I really wanted this podcast to be for business owners, because I even named it Peoria Business Jams, because it is like a fight. Like you're fighting everything. You're fighting to make payroll. You're fighting to grow. You're fighting, different time.
It's
Mm-hmm.
so I work, eat, and sleep thinking business. So that's like my day in and day out thing is thoughts of the company that I own, what to change, being the entrepreneur, how can we grow, um, what could I do different with the employee? I mean, my mind's always turning in regards to flush the guts. So, and I believe that in the long run, that's beneficial to always be thinking about businesses, thinking about new revenues, thinking about things that we could have done different, things that we wanted to do different, ways for growth and development. So.
Yeah, I think that you're on the right path, and one thing that comes across definitely with you guys is just your intention and your honesty and your integrity. Like, you can just tell in 15, 20 years that those principles are still going to be showing up because you're very intentional about your business, and that shows.
Yeah, the passion's there, so
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So, well, guys, if you need your gutters cleaned, if you need your vinyl siding washed, what other services we got? The guards.
Gutter guard installation, gutter cleaning, vinyl siding wash,
Yeah.
small repairs, holes, cracks. Or if you just like us to come out and take a look at your gutters and make sure they're working properly, we'd be more than happy to do that.
Yeah.
We offer free estimates for all Tri-County areas, so just give us a call. We'd be happy to come out and look at it.
Yeah. And one thing that I don't know, Joe, if people know this or not, but if your gutters aren't working properly, it's a Pandora's box of issues for your whole house.
It is. It could take as simple as $100 fix into hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage. So.
What's the most common things that you see?
Water damage, foundation issues is huge. It can cause mold, which is another huge deal because who wants to live with mold in their house, you know? So my recommendation would be once, if not twice a year for gutter cleaning, spring, late fall. Should keep your gutters in pretty good shape. If you don't want to clean your gutters that often, you could always consider gutter guard installation, which will relieve you from having to clean them twice a year or having them cleaned twice a year. And then it's every few years or so, just have them rinsed out, and it should protect your foundation, your property.
So it's really a great investment.
It is.
You know, $100 now or $10,000 foundation repair.
Exactly.
Yeah, later. So, well, guys, thanks again so much for watching the podcast. And like I said, I'm so happy to introduce you to Joe. I'm going to post all his contact information in the comments. Follow him on Facebook. This is a company that's going to be around for a long time, and definitely someone that you can trust to do any of your work as far as gutters go on your home. So, other than that, have a good day.